This is the one-woman home bakery in New York City known for its variety and massive menus. In just the past year, she's single-handedly done over 25 pop-ups and grown her business to the point where it pays the bills in one of the most expensive cities in the world. She is a real success story among home bakery owners, so grab a cozy drink, find a comfortable spot, and join me in a heart-to-heart conversation with Anna as we hear the story behind Simply Noms Bakery. Welcome to our first episode of this series. Thank you so much, Anna, for inviting me here today to do this little interview. So my vision for this series is to interview different small business owners like us who have started their business from a home kitchen from scratch, and to kind of share people's stories, their experience, what they've been through, and also like where they come from as well. So that's why I'm so excited to have you here as a guest, because I know that we come from very different backgrounds. And I think you have like so much to share, so I'm very excited to have you as my very first guest.
Thank you, Erica. I'm excited to be here.
First off, can you share a little bit about who you are and what your business is all about?
So my name is Anna, and I own a small little home bakery called Simply Noms Bakery, completely done inside my own apartment in New York. No staff or team yet, so it is like a one-woman show.
What's the story behind why you started your business and how you started it?
I actually came from a healthcare industry going into baking, so it has nothing to do with baking at all, but growing up I've always enjoyed being around food. That's how I moved to New York, is to enjoy all the different cultures of food. I love cooking, but I never saw myself getting into baking until I started baking brownies for friends, just my matcha brownies, and that's how everything started. And I think it was almost like a sign, one like job layoff, and then the next, and then I started selling baked goods, and that led to another pop-up, and that first pop-up has brought me all the way to where I am today, almost basically doing this full time to pay off New York rent. The reason why I transitioned from healthcare into baking is, first off, it is still related to food, which is something I like. But on top of just me enjoying food, I think another thing I enjoy seeing is people enjoying food. So me hosting friends or friends of friends over and having them try stuff that I'm able to make with my own hands and seeing their enjoyment and giving feedback. I like that process a lot. And in terms of bakery as a business-wise, I didn't really plan for it. It kind of just happened after my first ever pop-up. I was finding the job that wasn't within my control, but finding pop-up opportunities. I did both, and I had more opportunities for doing pop-ups and no answers from healthcare jobs. So I just continued to do what I was able. I just happened to be able to do that all the way up until now. So yeah, that's basically why I continued it.
How did the way that you grew up or experiences that you've had lead you to this point?
That's a question that I had to think about a lot personally too, because I did grow up in the hospitality industry with my parents from basically the day I came back to America, when they were still getting their life together and situated. I was actually raised in China by my aunt, and not long after I came, they opened up their first restaurant and have been doing that since my years throughout college. So I've helped translate a numerous amount of stuff for my dad, and I know the ups and downs of running a business and behind the scenes of the business parts and things that you have to do with like the city, the government, the health inspection, all that. So I didn't really think that I would put myself in that shoe after college, especially when I'm going for a completely different like industry. But I don't know, people change when they grow. Like, my feeling towards being in the healthcare industry slowly changed, but my love for the food industry and hospitality in general, like servicing, has never changed. Even baking nowadays in my tiny kitchen, it really is taxing on the body nonstop for maybe 14, 17 hours straight. The more I go through this day to day and the amount of output I'm doing with baking at Simply Noms is growing so big, the fact that I'm willing to continue to do it without help and stuff, and I can still push myself to go more and more, I think that's a sign that it's something that I want to continue doing. I do want to find a better system in doing it and maintaining it for the future, aka finding more assistants or hiring help. But at the moment, what I'm doing is working, so I'll do that until I need to find like a new system.
I see. Do you feel more familiar with doing this sort of like food and beverage business compared to doing the healthcare because you grew up in it?
I would say yes, I do feel more comfortable. It is more enjoyable and fulfilling to me than healthcare. Like growing up, I've always wanted to do a job where it just involves helping people. It doesn't even have to be in the healthcare field, but being more realistic versus like a nonprofit org in New York City, I have to consider what's more reliable and like pay for rent and other bills. So healthcare is probably the more reliable one. So I was like, okay, if I want to help the community, help people, I'm just gonna do that. Like I've always had almost like a blueprint from middle high school onward throughout college, post-college, exactly what I want to be doing. After like a year or two of college, that's basically when pandemic happened, right when I graduated grad school. And I wouldn't say pandemic was the reason why I had this change. I think it was just slowly brewing in me. Like I was never truly meant to love the healthcare industry. Maybe all the shows I watched as a kid and hearing my parents always say, doctor or lawyer is always the way to go. That's always been in my head. I never considered food and bev industry as a career.
I see. So initially your plan was healthcare, but just because of the situation with like getting laid off and the fact that you already have some kind of background in like the food and beverage, that's how it just made sense to just continue with Simply Noms and make it bigger.
Yeah, honestly, till this day, I don't really know how big I would want it or where I see the end goal for Simply Noms. So that's why I'm just a few months of plan at a time. And sometimes, even through just doing pop-ups, I feel like a lot of opportunities, whether it's like permanent or just a one-time event opportunity, it brings out more opportunities in the future. So you kind of never know what could come, and that's the biggest thing I learned of doing Simply Noms. And there's no real point for me to plan that far in the future when things change so fast here. So it's kind of in my best interest, I feel like, to keep expectations not too high and just go with the flow. Yeah.
When you first started, what was your kind of original idea behind Simply Noms, and how has that changed since, if at all?
Original idea. So when I say I went into this with no plan at all, I really didn't. Like, I don't think I had a vision of what kind of audience I'm targeting or what kind of products I want to focus on. Like, if customers come to a pop-up and ask me, what are you guys known for? I freeze because I really don't know what we're known for. Even nowadays, I still don't know how to answer it because there's so much variety. I feel like there's not one or even two types of products that we're only known for when there's just so much I make at each event and not one item that I bring to everything.
You're saying when you started out, you didn't have like a plan of like exactly what type of things you're gonna sell, what's your exact audience. Was it just kind of basically selling what you felt like in the moment, like what you wanted to create?
Yeah. So I started with very simple recipes that I know would be easiest to make and sell at pop-ups and the audience that I cater towards. They also like simple snacks that they can just grab and go and not always a cake or a full like size dessert. So I always keep small stuff but always bring in new larger stuff onto the menu. Flavors and type of stuff that I bake, 80-90% of the time it's what I personally would like to try at other bakeries that I know that I can make at home and try to bring to customers myself. Personally, I don't think the flavors that I make are too crazy or unheard of. I do hear that from quite a bit of customers. They're like, I've never like heard these flavors, like these are amazing. But I guess when your Instagram or your feed are all types of baked goods, you see so much more out there. I'm not even anywhere near their kind of crazy flavor combinations. I just like things more straightforward and simple. Instead of combining a lot of flavors into one item, I'd rather have its own flavor in its form and then serving multiple flavors in variety of forms. So yeah, it's mostly just what I would like to enjoy from other people, and then I get input from customers what they would like to try, and then if I have the ability to make it at home, then I would try it next time too.
So would you change how you're doing things? Like if you were to continue pursuing this like into the next year, into the next 2 years, would you continue with this concept of having more variety and centralizing on Asian flavors?
I think the centralizing on the types of flavors and stuff, I wouldn't mind continuing, and maybe at most adding more variety of flavors onto the kind of items I already bake. I have been stepping more into baking breads and making more savory items. I think that concept is something I personally do enjoy a lot because I'm more of a savory gal, and I feel like having both options to the audience is always nice. But if I were to think more into the long term, at this moment, I don't know if I am ready for a brick and mortar versus just doing a bigger form of pop-up where I'm not always heading to someone else's cafe and having people pick up orders. I'm considering something where I have kind of like a warehouse, not necessarily like a ghost kitchen, but just like a bigger commercial warehouse. And these kind of settings offer almost like pickup window for people to go there. So that way I have an actual kitchen where I can bake 5-10 pans of stuff at a time versus half sheet pans every single batch. I think it'll be more efficient, and at that point I would try to hire at least a couple of helpers and just maxing out my output. But I think that also is easier to get a lot of products out for more people to try versus having to try to make smaller batches of everything.
I see. So you would want to keep the same concept, same variety, same flavor profiles. In the future, you would just really want to scale up the volume of the business, basically.
I would
and
see
make more.
myself definitely still adding more flavors as we go, but that will just come with inspirations. So who knows? Yeah.
True. What was one of the biggest hurdles or challenges you faced when you first started your business? It was 2 years ago, right? When did you start your business?
It's coming up 2 years.
Coming up
actually.
2 years. Okay.
I think like 3-4 months. But if you count like the first time I started selling to friends, it's probably been 2 years now.
Oh, okay.
Biggest hurdle. I feel like there's so much, but I'm trying to think of some that is worth sharing.
Maybe just something that you really had to learn and grow from. Could be like managing your business, could be like the physical labor, could be like the toll on the personal side. Anything that kind of stands out in the beginning phases of your business that you really had to adapt to survive and continue.
I feel like if I share every single moment of those hurdles, it would scare a lot of people off.
It's okay. I feel like that's the point. I feel like online it looks so like, oh, what a like dream life. You just bake cakes once in a while, you can make a full-time living. But that's one of the reasons why I want to make this type of video, share more of what actually goes into it, what it's actually like, but also like why it's worth it still to, you know, pursue kind of in this direction.
Honestly, that's the reason why I vlog so much, was because I feel like it was almost all moments of how I felt that day after a full day of baking or right after events. And then with how big and busy Simply Noms got, I haven't had the chance to, I guess, express those kind of hurdles or feelings. I haven't even been able to process it or reflect lately. I think that's why this question is kind of hard for me right now. But I think that speaks even louder for why I am calling for a big break, is because I just know deep down that emotionally and physically, for sure, I have been going through too much. But starting off a business,
Was that the easiest part? The easier part was starting. The hardest part is continuing.
Yeah, that's honestly a good way to put it. It's easiest to start because I didn't exactly plan for this to start. It happened with different signs from things that happen in life, And maybe it's New York or maybe it's just like built in me, but I take things pretty easily, whether it's layoffs or non-death related life events. I feel like I can brush it off after that moment or max that day and already plan to move forward. That's one of the biggest pros of how I got this far. Even during pop-up seasons, doing all this back-to-back myself, if there's a pop-up event that has physically and emotionally drained me for the last 2 weeks or more, right after the event ends, the adrenaline that I get from the event is definitely the biggest motivation and push for me to just get back to it after a couple days of break. Just because it is an amazing community when you go out and meet the people that comes to your events, tries your goods, or the vendors that you meet there. It's really fun. It's like when people say it's hard to meet friends when you're an adult, it's a great way to also meet new friends. I
agree.
Too.
I totally
That's
agree.
how we kind of met through other baker friends. So I've been loving that. And I just think hurdles.
It sounds like maybe the biggest hurdle since starting your business has just been like, it's so easy for you to continue and it's hard for you to like take time for yourself.
I think, taking time for myself has definitely been hard, but that's not the case for everyone. It is definitely person to person, depending on what your work style and habit is. Me, I think ever since I started working, whether it was in healthcare or starting Simply Noms, I was always the type to do a lot in a long period of time without giving myself breaks during that entire 9-10 months of the year, and then calling it a 1 to 2 month long break. So it's always like you work hard and then you take a long break and make all the work worth it. That's kind of what I'm doing this year too. So I'm taking like that 2-3 month long break. But in general, I think having help is very important when you're doing or continuing a small business, because starting it off, if it's small and you're able to handle it even with another part-time job, which is what I was still doing last year of Simply Noms, I was still doing home health on the side of Simply Noms, but that just means you split everything, your energy, your time, dedicated to both things 50-50. And for me, that almost felt like 2 full-time jobs, because I wasn't necessarily working the other job only 20-30 hours a week. It was still 40-50 hours a week. And then I was also doing pop-ups, so it wasn't just home pickup orders. It was pretty big events and pretty big outputs too, because that was also the same time my page was growing and my customer and audience was growing. So a lot was going on so fast that I was feeling like emotionally torn between feeling grateful and feeling too much to handle, like this is a lot of stress and chaos. But I didn't necessarily have the time to really absorb and think it through to know how to balance it out. I just kept going to a point where I had to stop and call it quits for one thing, which was the healthcare one. And again, that wasn't actually me calling it quit. It was also another layoff. Yeah. So it was just like things happening back to back that I really, till this day, I don't think I gave myself a moment to reflect on everything. But honestly, even if I sit here right now and you asking me this question, I'm trying to reflect back on it, but it's hard for me to.
Yeah,
because there's just been so much happening and I don't express it. It almost just fades away somewhere that I don't even remember how I truly felt in those moments. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I feel like having your own business versus having a job that someone else sets the hours for, I feel like it's different with maybe a type of personality that we're always thinking the next thing. But the problem is with your own business, it never ends. The workday never ends. There's always a next thing, which just kind of speeds up the workload on yourself. It's just constant. Even if you're that type of person, if you have a full-time job, you have like a reason to stop at a certain point. But when you run your own business and you're that type of person, it's hard to have a reason to stop. Like, what's a reason to stop? Nothing.
Yeah, you actually bring up a good point. I guess that could be another hurdle too, is when you're your own boss and you can be a workaholic if you enjoy what you're doing. Knowing the balance of that professional and personal There's no line there because I am still working from home now 24/7. Like my entire apartment is my space. All the storage, my closet made for clothes, my kitchen made for other kitchenware, they're all stored up with boxes and labels and just all kinds of baking tools. It's just there's no separation between that and my actual like personal life. So knowing when to step away from that is really hard because the second I wake up, I can easily start in the kitchen immediately. Before I go to bed, I still have my laptop on the dining table or my desktop in my room that I can still go on and do random admin work. This couch has not been used for personal forever. And yeah, it's not the healthiest, and I always like tell new friends that I meet who are starting like this kind of journey to start in the beginning of knowing how they want to celebrate, how they want to separate that personal and professional side so that they don't go too far in and know it'll be harder when you try to do it when you're already really busy. It's definitely much easier to try and separate and having a system of knowing how many hours you've worked versus how much time you should dedicate to your side and make time for friends and other self-care stuff. And whatnot.
Like if you don't set up a system in the beginning, then
the
lines
zone,
are blurred.
You're in it.
You can't separate after that.
When you get busier, when the season gets busier, you get more customers, you get more events. I just want to like go instead of knowing maybe I shouldn't take on this event or maybe I need to skip this pop-up because I need a break. That was another problem because when I don't have a business partner to talk these things through, everything's on my plate. I do try to overachieve and do everything to the max until I physically can. And luckily, it hasn't happened yet. So that's why I keep going and going.
What has been the hardest part of your journey so far? Is this something you mentioned before, or is there anything else that like sticks out?
There's so many. It's so crazy when friends ask me, so do you enjoy baking? And I guess I haven't been able to confidently answer, yes, I love baking. I think big part of the reason is because I've been doing it to such an extent where I haven't been able to enjoy it. Rather, it does feel like I'm putting just a load of job on myself and I just feel like I need to do it for other people. But when it becomes your own business, you're not baking for fun anymore. You're not baking for that relaxing moment or those peaceful, like, mixing moments and setting up cameras. That's why I haven't been able to film any content, do any kind of content creation stuff, which I still enjoy doing, even though it doesn't pay. I still enjoy it. I haven't been able to dedicate any time to that because it's just been baking nonstop, like a factory, except there's no like machines or other people. It's just me in my small half-sized oven. And I think just like the setup and the system I have in general right now is causing a lot more tension in this whole business. I know there is better ways that I can run this Simply Noms, and that's my goal, honestly, for 2026 is better system, maybe like a small team, and just bringing more stuff to people, but with a healthier, happier me.
So the hardest part is the joy of baking,
of
like fading away.
Like I still get to see the joy of people trying it, but the joy of the behind the scenes of all the prettiness that you see at pop-ups is definitely like faded a lot.
Totally get that. It is crazy how once baking becomes just a task you have to do to fulfill orders.
Fulfill your life, basically, or sustain your life.
Sustain your life. You know, it's a deliverable. First of all, it needs to be perfect. Whatever you bake, there's like the pressure, the expectation.
Adds a little pressure.
It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's like fun anymore, but
I guess a lot of people are shocked when they hear like, oh, you don't like baking, but it's not like...
Oh, you tell them that? That like, do you like baking?
I'm honest though. Like, I never hide anything, and it's just the reason behind it that I can't explain, because it's not just logistical reasons, but just emotional aspects, and it's not like I hate it, but it's just a circumstance that I'm currently in that's making it not as enjoyable compared to what it can be. Yeah, it can be better. It definitely can be better. I'm working on that.
I see. So now what is the why that kind of pushes you to get through that? Like, even though you don't enjoy it, is there a deeper reason why you would continue putting your energy into, Simply Noms?
One, the first reason is the most practical reason is because it has so far, I think just in the last few months, maybe with like the new audience that my page is reaching, it has been able to sustain me, luckily, for the last few months of rent and living here. So that's definitely one big reason. But I think the other part is because I'm good at it. And if you're good at something that, even if you don't love it now, for whatever reason or circumstance it's under, but you're good at it and you don't hate it, if I compared it to another job, I put myself in the shoe of like a desk-related job, I would choose baking or like food and bev in a heartbeat. I just
Because
know.
it's your calling, like that
Yeah.
kind of feeling?
Like even when I used to work at the restaurant in New York, it doesn't even like pay that well compared to my healthcare job, and I was doing both at the time. But if I had to choose between one, probably not the most responsible decision, but I would still choose the restaurant job over the hospital job, because I just know I enjoy that setting a lot. Just serving food, talking about it, even being able to just be a part of it, making drinks or food in general. It brings much more joy in me, and I feel happier talking about it, even if it's not my business. But now Simply Noms is my own baby in my own business. I still feel really proud and happy when I talk about it. And seeing how far it's come, it is still pretty wild.
Yeah, and
It's
just
very
years,
wild to think about. And I'm pretty proud of it too.
I'm proud of it too. Oh.
Yeah, I am. I feel like I don't give myself enough credit, but I really should. It's like something I can physically hold. I can like just be like, you're doing so well.
You can pay your bills with it. Yeah, it's so great.
So yeah, and I think another thing is knowing how much of an impact it has also made for other people that I've met, because I do feel so grateful or just honored when other people can ask me for whether it's like business related opinions or just starting pop-ups. And the first times I hear people coming up to me and asking me for advice or opinions, I was pretty shocked. I was like, me? You want opinions from me? I'm like, I'm not pro or something, but I feel like if I saw someone else started from where I was and where they are now, I'd look up to them and I'd want their advice and opinions too. I just need more time to like reflect on how far I come, because I still feel like it's very small and new, but I'm like, no, this baby has grown for so long and it has come really far and it deserves the love for sure.
I love that.
Yeah. I know. I didn't expect
yeah.
to get emotional.
You make me cry too. Okay. Reflecting on your journey so far, what has been a turning point for you? It can be in your business or your personal journey throughout.
I'd say the last 3-4 months have definitely been a big turning point, because before that, end of October of last year was when I had to start solely relying on Simply Noms as a form of income. And it hasn't been as easy when that just started, because I would still consider my small business pretty small. Like the audience still wasn't reached that far. Pre-orders or even just cake or custom orders, they're still to the bare minimum. And I was still trying to actively look for a healthcare job, but it has not happened since. And I think since early this year, one thing led to another, and having a couple of food influencer posts, they also grew more audience attention to my page, and having more people come out to the last few bigger pop-ups. Just that in general has widely grew in terms of business, like revenue and amount of orders, the amount of new customers I'm able to reach and provide sweets for. It's definitely a big change, and I haven't exactly sat and calculated numbers or anything, But just from this past event on the 24th at Chinatown, I did look at the data for that because I used Square for the first time so I could easily read the data, and I was shocked. I was so shocked. I will definitely share more about that also in the future vlog when I have time to do it.
Can you explain about the event you hosted? Because it was so crazy because it was on a Thursday. And so I was like, oh, I don't know if I can go because I don't work anywhere near Chinatown and I have to go to the office. But it was like, I think Wednesday, and I was like, okay, let me check. Maybe there's still room. I looked and I'm like, oh my God, like 200 people RSVP'd, wait list full. I was like, oh.
I did not.
I guess I don't need to go actually.
Okay, what I learned from this pop-up, specifically for this location, I didn't set the 250 max. I think Parental automatically, when you make it, they're like, oh, do you want to limit the number of attendees? I was like, okay, let me just do that because I thought 250 was already a big number. I didn't expect it to go over that. I wanted to use Parental as a form of me gauging how much to prep and bake for walking in on top of whoever wants to pre-order. Because it's Thursday in Chinatown and Manhattan. I have no pop-ups there before. So I don't know how many people are gonna come. It's still weekday. It's been really hot. Maybe a very chill event. That's all I was expecting. And this was 3 weeks before the pop-up. I made the party full. I posted it one evening. The next day I woke up, the page was close to 250, but then that afternoon it was filled. I didn't know there was a wait list until customers were reaching me on Instagram. They're like, hey, I'm on the wait list. Do you think I could still go? I was like, wait list for what? Because I thought they were talking about maybe at the hub they created a wait list. They're like, on your Parental. So I went on Parental. I was like, it's maxed out. And then I saw the wait list. I was like, wait. Are you guys actually saying that you guys are actually all coming? I don't know how I'm gonna bake for all this. Because I did not expect it to be like this. I made it a cafe concept pop-up. That's one thing that I've always imagined is having a very low-key, slow mood, lo-fi vibe, like cafe where they get to enjoy drinks on top of some of the baked goods. So I wanted sweet and savory. And then I also made matcha and hojicha drinks that day. And there were a couple tables set up so people can stay and enjoy. But I'm like, when I saw that list, I don't know if that was still even going to be possible because I was imagining how crowded the place was going to be and thinking that majority of people are going to come after work hours since it was a Thursday. But it actually wasn't like that. People started lining up before 12. We were planning to start at 12. I was still in the kitchen with a few helpers, finishing cakes, setting up, and then 12:03, that was like second or third reminder from like the staff. They're like, hey, Anna, there's like a line already. It was way out the door.
Oh my God, did someone get footage of it?
No!
Oh, okay, it's
Erica,
okay.
I wish you were there to grab the footage. I was like imagining what kind of content I can give. It was so busy that day.
Yeah,
I had a good number. I think at least 3 to 4 all-day helpers, and then 1 to 2 friends that were switching. So 5 helpers, 2 hub staffs. I'm and I thought I could do this myself when I barely had time to see anyone or film any content that whole day, even with that much help. So I couldn't imagine having that day happen by myself the way I imagined it to be. People were just offering help. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll let you know if I need help. And then closer to the event, I was like, hi, I need help, Are you free? Please come.
Wow, yeah.
It was insane, but very memorable. I do wish I got to take time to absorb in moments or got to see people checking out or enjoying the goods, but it was just nonstop, like things I needed to take care of this, I needed to restock this. Time flew by that day, and then it slowly started dying down, maybe an hour before the event was about to end. But the biggest takeaway, I think personally for this event was when people reached out saying if they can still come on the wait list, I was kind of feeling already too overwhelmed with the 250 that I saw on the number. I was like, oh, if they already RSVP'd, then we put them as priority because they already said they can come. And then if there are leftover goods, then the waitlist people can come. But like, I should have known better. Not everyone the RSVPs are gonna show. It's more to get the spot. Like, you don't have to pay anything to RSVP. So I feel like definitely not everyone on the list came. And there were a lot of other people that were able to buy a lot of the leftover stuff that I had that following night or the next day because they thought they couldn't come because they didn't RSVP. So I feel like I could have given the chance for people to buy everything the day of fresh instead of waiting another extra day. It's just, it could have happened, but it was a first experience. Cafe concept, a really big event. For me, definitely the biggest event I've had since starting Simply Noms. So I'm pretty proud of everything that we were able to make and everyone that helped that day. It was insane. Like, they put in the work.
Wow.
For sure.
So was it around 250 that like came?
I think it was more because the number of day of transactions plus the pre-orders was well over 350.
Whoa, wow. So it was like a legitimate, like, the coolest cafe in New York. On a Thursday, definitely.
On a Thursday.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, their space was very, very good for this kind of concept stuff. I do recommend them to almost any small businesses. Like, one, there's no fee involved. You literally can just use the space to what you envision. So that's how you go in. They ask you what you want to see and what kind of concept or vision you want to bring, and then you can work around their space and equipments that they have available, and you can bring whatever you need in that can fit. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, for any small businesses, small or big, actually.
Anna, what are some of the accomplishments or moments that you're most proud of so far?
I think this last pop-up was definitely one of the most proudest moments that I was able to achieve. Definitely not on my own. There is help, a lot of help, but since it was one of the biggest turnout events and me being, I guess, the only vendor there at the event, seeing everyone come just for you, I had regulars who moved from New York to Jersey. They came out on a Thursday just for the event. I'm like, were you working? They're like, yeah, but it's okay. I could take a long break. I was like,
so sweet.
It's crazy. Having regulars and meeting and seeing them is another form of motivation for me to continue to do this kind of stuff, especially when I'm not even like a brick and mortar. Like, they're literally following you around to wherever you're popping up, and just making small conversations with them, it makes your day a lot. So that's one of the moments I'm most proud of.
What about when you like shared with your family your vision and what you've been working so hard on?
I feel like a lot of Asian, Chinese parents in general, if you tell anyone in our parents' generation you want to go from healthcare that you went to college for to food and bev, something you don't need a college degree for. I know there's a lot of parents out there that might still be very against it. Luckily, I think my parents, they're not tiger parents. Like, they won't force me to do something in like such a strict way. I think they're more just concerned about the stability of whatever I go into. And I'm trying to like explain to them how big of a difference food and beverage industry is nowadays compared to when they were starting restaurant businesses back then, or even like in a different city or state, because like, they're in Florida. I think the food and bev there is still pretty stable to like the normal degree, but I feel like in New York, it's such a big industry and it's always growing, changing. It's definitely one of the best places for anyone that wants to try their visions or concepts. So when I was trying to put all this into like Chinese and explaining it to my parents, it's still a little hard. Like, they always nod and hear what I'm saying, not necessarily like agreeing because they haven't been in the shoes of seeing everything from top to bottom. They can only know what I tell them, but it's hard to explain every single detail to them. If I share like the realities, hard parts, I feel like it might turn them away from this. So I only share the good. Like, oh, I can actually make money, or how much people come out and want to try my goods. When I was back at home, I did bake some stuff for them, specifically flavors I know they would like. Not too sweet, textures that they would like, and they definitely enjoyed it a lot. Every time I have a pop-up, I just show them videos and pictures whenever I can of certain clips that people take during events, and just tell them, yeah, it's something very real and can be a business too. I don't know how far, just like how I'm telling you, like I don't know how far I'm going with this. I don't know if I want a brick and mortar, but I just know it's working for me right now. And all I need, honestly, is their support. I don't need any other form of help or something. I just want them to know what I'm doing and know that I'm living, and then that's it.
Would you say they're proud of you? Like, they see what you've done and they're proud of like how, even though you switch from healthcare, but you're able to create something from nothing that is sustainable?
I feel like proud, maybe yes, deep down, but I think if I were in their shoes, instead of saying proud, they are glad to see that, yes, I can make a living, but it hurts for them to see me living like in such a harder way compared to being in healthcare. Because like healthcare, it pays more. It's not necessarily like, oh, a better job emotionally or physically, which is something I also try to explain to them. I tell them like, I know like healthcare pays much better than what I'm doing now, and it probably is less physically taxing too, but I tell them that emotional fulfillment part, which is so hard to explain in Chinese words to them, I don't get any of that from healthcare, and I get like an abundance of that when I get to do like Simply Noms and baking. And I guess like them growing up and being in the food and bev, it's always been like nonstop labor, hard work, and they don't want me to go through that. So I would never like, yeah. I know like deep down, yeah, they're proud, but they'd rather me choose an easier job and live life easier than how hard it is, even though they literally don't see like how hard the baking stuff is, which is why if I tell them stuff like I'm sharing with like friends or you guys, how hard it can be on the body or even like emotional taxing times, they would not approve of me going through this. But sharing with them how much emotional fulfillment, I feel like to them, money and stability comes before the emotional side. So that's the biggest difference between like, I guess, even like our generation and our parents. I think we put emotional health and security before some other stuff. And that's something I truly believe in like all forms of aspects of like my relationships, even with like friends and stuff. I put friendships to a really high level and standard, and I put in a lot because I just feel like they're very important things to have in life to be happy about. Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Let me get some tissue. Okay, let's do some funny questions. Okay, happy questions. No more crying. Okay. Time for the fun part. All right, Anna. Tell us a funny story. Any funny story?
I was expecting a funny story from you to make me laugh.
Okay, we'll exchange funny stories. Yes. Okay. Story. What's the funniest story? It can be a customer. Oh, I got a good one. Oh, I got such a good one for you. Yeah, but yeah.
Wait, can you go first?
Okay, all right, Anna. This is the funniest / weirdest thing that's happened to me at a market. Okay. And I haven't told this to anybody except Joe. Ooh. Joe wasn't even there like when this happened.
Okay.
So I'm at a market. I'm vending. It's outside, like an outdoor market, farmer's market kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just at my booth, whatever, doing my thing. And then somebody comes up to me. They walk up to my booth. They stand like real close, like like up on the ledge, like right at the edge of the table, like really close to me. And they're like, "Is this your full-time thing?" And I was like, like imagine I am a vendor with like
You're
baked
just,
goods.
Like face to face.
I'm like, hi, like, yeah, would you like a sample ball, right? And then, is this your full-time thing? I was like, no. I mean, sure, I'll answer, right? So, no? Uh-huh. And then, what's your full-time job? Software engineer. And they're like, can you give me a referral?
For software engineering?
Yeah, yeah. They were literally like, like, can you give me a referral? And I was like, what's going on right now? What?
Wait, this is just farmers market. This is not
first
like
of all, why are you
Amazon.
asking me this? And then second of all, why would I give you a referral? I don't even know you. Like what? I think that was definitely the strangest interaction. Then, right, I was like, no.
No.
I don't get referrals, yeah, to people I don't know, yeah.
She didn't even try your product.
Yeah, no, she didn't. Yeah, they just came up, asked me if it's my full-time gig. And then I was like, no, sorry.
Wow.
And then, yeah, they left. That was it. But it was just so strange. Like, wow, you really see everything as like a vendor.
Oh, that's true. I'm trying to think if there's like one of those moments at an event.
Strangest or funniest interaction you've ever had?
There's probably strange ones. I'm not sure about funny.
It's okay, strange. Mine isn't funny. It's just really strange. Shocking.
I feel like luckily majority of all the customers that came have been pretty normal. Not too crazy.
Good.
I guess I don't remember the exact like event or instance, but there was a customer at like a vendor market event, and I guess the prices of not just my baked goods but at the entire market was a little higher than her price range. But she really, really, really wanted to try some baked goods, and she asked about like, oh, if there's a bundle deal or but there's not, because I was selling everything individually. So she didn't try anything or buy anything, and she continued on like with other vendor tables. And then eventually I see her again at my table also. Oh, I remember which market it was. It was at the market at Industry City. But she came back, and I thought she was ready to like buy some goods and try. And she was just like standing around as other customers were purchasing, and after all the other customers had finished their purchases, they went to the next table, and then when it was just her there again, she's like, I really want to try your baked goods. Are you sure you can't like
just
sell
come
it for
slice.
cheaper? Yeah. Or she's like, but okay, then if I'm gonna buy something and I tried this and this, but I don't have samples to try because they're already pre-cut, pre-packaged, because at that event that was something that was needed to be everything pre-packaged.
Yeah.
I told her like, unfortunately no. She's like, but these other food vendors, they all have like samples. I don't want to buy anything before trying it. I was like, yeah, unfortunately I'm sorry, but because I have so much variety, I don't have samples set aside for all this 12 variety of items that I have, you know? She's like, oh, okay. And she went away, and she came back a third time.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
But she bought something the third time.
Ooh, yeah.
She did buy like
her,
a slice and then like a cookie. I was like, hi, how may I help you? I'm like, do you have to come back?
Yeah, you're gonna ask the same question, try to make a sign. Yes.
I'm like, are you trying to wait until I feel guilty in front of other customers and like sell it to you for cheaper? I'm like, I have a small business too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably just the one more awkward-ish event that I've reacted to. But other than that, there's like customers here and there that you don't see a lot, but yeah, you just brush it away. It is what it is.
So you don't have any stories like mine?
No, I don't think so. If I do, it just went away, and I don't even try to remember those.
Oh, what's your career? Oh, healthcare. Can I get
Yeah,
a referral to your
referral.
company?
If you get a job
Healthcare
before
company.
me, that'll be crazy. Like, I get laid off from healthcare, but you want a referral.
Well, that's actually crazy, because I feel like I would have thought in New York there's so much more variety of people that you would have more crazy stories of, you know, somebody coming in, stealing one of your brownies. That's what I would expect.
No one steal before, but there were a few instances where they thought my stuff were soap bars because they say the samples that I lay out, they all looked too perfect. They didn't think it was real food.
Oh.
And this happens a lot, but it's usually at market events where there's a lot of tables and stuff where it's not just food. There's like art.
So they didn't
like,
know.
So
Maybe
they
you're selling
didn't know
candles.
it was food. Yeah, so they thought it was candles. And I remember this one man at the most recent market event pop up. He literally picked it up. I don't remember if it was a mochi or a cookie thing, but he picked it up and was smelling. I was like, oh, no. This is for sample. He's like, oh, I thought these were soap bars to smell. I'm so sorry. And he placed it down and he walked away. I was like, okay. Like, you don't want to try any baked goods, I guess. But that was the only other like shocking moment I realized. I was like, dang, I didn't know people like make so realistic looking soap bars now until I hear that same comment from a lot of customers actually.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it looks too perfect. Is it soap? So what's your dream so far with the future? Have you shared your whole taking a break to think about things?
Oh, I guess
Maybe you can
like not
explain
too
that
in
first.
depth about it. So I am actually, taking a long break from September, probably till end of the year at least, since I am taking a long vacation in Asia. But the reason why I don't know when I'll start back with Simply Noms is because I'm not coming back to New York for like any sort of job. I can literally start Simply Noms up again when I'm ready for it, and however long I feel like I need this break, I'll just take it up until that point. Literally, I'm just renting a storage just for kitchen equipments, and I'll just sit there until I find a place that I'm happy with to like live in New York City. Another consideration that I'm actually having for the next future apartment is ease for public commute for customers, because I think where I'm currently living right now, it is definitely one of the least convenient spots for people to pick up. So I am really grateful for people who do come and pick up their orders on the weekends, because it's so far from the train and it's far from most of my customers for sure. So when I come back, I'll just take my time in apartment hunt and have these considerations in the back of my mind to choose a better location, and then 2, definitely a better oven for baking. I'll just give up on other priority checklists like sunlight and whatnot for my next apartment.
Weren't you saying you were still thinking if you want to continue baking or if you want to go back to doing a full-time job of some sort?
Full-time job.
Or part-time?
Oh, part-time. So yeah, that was another consideration I have when it comes to paying bills and stuff. If need to be, I wouldn't mind considering a part-time job, most likely healthcare, since I don't have to get any other forms of degrees or experience to get back into. If I am able to find one, that's good. But if not, I think I'll just continue what I'm doing currently, because like I said, in the past 3-4 months, I feel like Simply Noms did grow a lot, to the point where if it is able to maintain near like this kind of revenue or just business in general, along with here and there pop-up events and continuing drops for orders, then it could be something I could still focus on doing solely without a healthcare job on the side. But I think the biggest consideration is that I cannot bake to this quantity in a home apartment anymore, and I would need to look into commercial kitchens and seeing the budget for that versus how much I make, if it is enough to still have money set aside for other things. So yeah, we'll look into that later this year. But that's the current plan. If it is doable, I think that would be ideal. Even if it's just to test it out for the next year, it'll also provide me an idea of how it feels to bake in a larger commercial kitchen if I were to do brick and mortar in the future, so that I know not everything has to feel so time restricted or stressful with baking in the home kitchen and trying to produce so much. It could probably alleviate a lot of stress, but also save a lot of time too. So that's what I mean by finding a better system and making things more efficient and run more smoothly too.
Then would you say the dream is to feel fulfillment from contributing somehow to people's lives? Or would your dream be to just have like a creative outlet where you enjoy doing things like,
Maybe
something more abstract?
Maybe a mix of both. Definitely, it does give me an outlet to be more creative in the food and bev. Baking wise, I envision I can bring more uniqueness or difference in flavors and textures to like customers and stuff. And I guess the ultimate dream, what I was envisioning with the cafe concept pop up, is to have a space where people, whether they're coming by themselves or with a small group of friends, have comfortable, safe space where they don't feel rushed and have a space where they can enjoy and sit down and just like chit chat, enjoy the goods, and yeah, savoring the moment before heading back out in this like busy city. But that's also hard because so far I have not considered brick and mortar, mostly because I don't know if I see that kind of cafe envision or concept in a city like New York. I feel like it's hard to find that kind of area and that kind of vibe at a cafe because everything's so fast paced here. It might be a little hard to do that. So yeah, that's why pop-ups have been the only thing that I've been considering so far. Yeah.
Okay. This section is what I'm gonna call the secret ingredient. And it's just gonna be like something fun where you'll get to answer a secret question and then you leave a secret question for whoever's gonna come up next. It's like that type of thing. So since you are the first guest, I have written your secret question.
Darn.
So my question is, looking back at your journey so far, what is something you've learned that has changed you as a person?
Change me as a person. I think my skin has grown thicker and I have definitely grown more resilient, for sure. And many ways. I think personally I have always been pretty independent even before starting Simply Noms, but I think running a business is not just about being able to do everything on your own. Like sometimes, or a lot of the times, you need to learn when and how to ask for help, but also take advice from other people around you, whether they are also a small business or currently running brick and mortar businesses. Everyone's got a lot of input and experiences that can be really helpful to this kind of journey. So yeah, I think learning, I don't know, just to take it all in. I think the resilience part just comes from knowing to not give up and just keep looking forward. I think for me, I was able to grow the resiliency and just keep moving forward purely based on, one, the customers, and two, the feedback that I do receive pretty often on Instagram message or just from regulars that come back and whatnot. And I guess the last part I would say is, even despite how hard things have gotten with running this business, I still call it a small business. But I think the amount of audience and output that I'm baking for, I would consider it a little bigger than a small business. It's a lot of work to do. Physically and mentally, it has been a lot to handle for one person.
Yeah, I feel like just simply pushing yourself, you've already gotten this far. Yeah. Which is, I feel like it just goes to show how powerful that is.
Yeah. It just comes with basically each event and each experience that you do go through, and knowing things will pass, this feeling will pass, and you'll recharge eventually. Like when this event is over, you'll recharge. I think I just have built up a lot of like highs and then take that really low break. I don't think I shared this with you before, but I heard a podcast recently that she was talking about addicted to chaos. And I didn't really know or exactly understand her version of chaos, but just 3 to 5 minutes into the podcast, it perfectly described my life. That's why I'm like kind of confused about if I am resilient or if I'm addicted to chaos, because how she described it is some people are really good at just booming out so many big events in their life and like doing everything to a max, but even though it does cause a lot of stress on them and they know it, they're not necessarily enjoying that stress or that chaos. most humans don't. Like, that's not the addiction part. It's the after effect of the chaos, the adrenaline and the dopamine that you feel after a high amount of cortisol and stress on your body. That's what we're addicted to. And I think when I reflect back to all these buildup of 3 to 5 pop-ups in like a month or 2 weeks, and just everything leading up to such a high stress and cortisol level, and then feeling the dopamine of taking that day to just absorb it all in, and then moving forward to cleaning up, and then for the next event, and then building up more stress, and then feeling the dopamine of that afterwards. That's what I'm addicted to, and it can be good. I think that's a form of me pushing myself forward. It's just waiting for the high and then bouncing back each time. Yeah, so that's something I learned recently, and it's probably not the healthiest addiction to maintain the long run, but it's probably something that has gotten me through a lot of these past few events, or at least these last few months, actually.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like without it, we would have just stopped.
Yep.
Yeah. So now you can go ahead and I will have you write a question for the next guest, who I don't know who they're going to be or when it's going to happen.
On the spot. Secret ingredients.
It can be something deep or something playful, just something you would genuinely want to know about. But yeah, that
Is that the end?
concludes our interview. Thank you so much for sharing all your heartfelt stories and feelings. I feel very honored to receive them and hopefully share some of them with our audience, which is also mostly like home bakery people, to be honest, and people who dream of opening a home bakery as well. So can you please share how people can find you?
Oh yeah. So I currently only have like Instagram page for my baking. It's at simplynoms.ny for New York. And then my only other page is my hot plate drop page, which you can find. But I also have a fun YouTube vlog. It's a random array of content. It's not like dedicated to anything specific, but I think that perfectly describes the kind of like state of life I am in right now, like trying different things, trying to do foodie contents, trying to live in New York for the first time and enjoying the lifestyle here. But now it's a lot of baking content, and soon to come it'll be travel and food content.
Yeah, lots of home bakery like vlogs. Like some of her biggest events are on there, like behind the scenes.
Hopefully I'll have more time to edit and share most of those long forms, because I am definitely more of a long form girly, so these YouTube contents are up my alley.
Share your foodie Instagram too.
Oh, my foodie Instagram? Do I even? Oh, it's Simply Noms with 2 S. So SimplyNoms. Yeah. And then you'll be able to find my YouTube on there too. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for being here. How can they support you? Or is it just like following your pages and ordering?
Yeah, following my page will definitely be the biggest support. And if you ever like have time, if you're based in New York or even like Jersey, you can always come out and say hi. Please let me know how you heard about me. I think that's my favorite question to ask new customers I meet, is how they heard about the pop-up or just like Simply Noms in general. I think that brings out a lot of different conversations after that. And yeah, just letting me know in comments if you have any questions specifically too. You can reach out to me too. I'd be happy to answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yay, sounds good. Well, yes, that is it. Thank you for being the very first guest on this.
It's such an honor.
For anyone who doesn't know, this video has been in the making for like months.
Yeah, some of the behind the scenes from the last baking too.
So I'll have hopefully inserted some of the plan to see pop-up and on-cafe style like pop-ups, and then also some behind the scenes prep that we filmed together.
Yeah.
Okay, that is it. That's a wrap. Cut.
Yay!
Yay!